Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon,
I'm Ira.
And I'm Bree.
and welcome to the Mustardcast, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. As usual, free Palestine. Until it is done, just do everything you can to support them. So, starting with animation, it's been a pretty light week. So, decided to have Bree join us this time for the animation section, not just comics. So, Bree, you been watching any cartoons lately? Movies or shows?
Um, as far as anime, I've watched the Devil May Cry one and finished it. And Hikey, it's pretty good. I still have like a lot of questions, but luckily, I think they're making like a second season. I don't know when
Yeah.
that's coming out. 'Cause apparently, the production of like this first season was like I don't even know how long it was. It was like a few years long. This was like in production, so who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I like Devil May Cry as well. It has had some mixed reactions amongst other gaming fans of the game because it turns out the was it like the creator and director and writer is like a weirdo. So that has caused some controversy surrounding the show, but also some people don't like certain directions they went with the story. I personally liked it. The only criticism I agree with is Lady is real weird. She's very different than how she is in the game,
Yeah.
which is like
Mhm.
making a character different and then making a character a completely different character, or those are two separate things.
Right.
Lady feels like a completely different character, and I'm kind of okay with the character, but it didn't need to be Lady. It could have been literally anybody else. But I do like the direction the story's going in. And did you watch all of it, Ira?
I still haven't. It's been on my docket now that I'm on break. But from what I did watch, I did enjoy it, but I can kind of get like I don't know. I enjoyed what I watched, but on the same token, it's like I'm not really in a rush to watch the rest, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But that's not to say it's a bad show. It's just I don't think it appeals to me personally. I'm still finish it though,
That's
because
understandable.
maybe that might change.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I'm excited to see what they do with the second season. I feel like the second season, with a lot of video game adaptations, the second like go around tends to be like, okay, we know what we did wrong. Let's be better. Like they're doing the same thing with
Mm.
the Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, I was gonna mention, I don't know if you guys watch Ninja Kamui, but apparently they have like a second and third season in
Oh,
production.
we've talked about that.
Wow.
Oh my gosh,
I
I finished it a while back, and at first I was telling everyone to watch
Okay,
it,
I know
and then
exactly
it
where you
just
go with
started
this.
going
It's
downhill
crazy. It's crazy how bad that show got so fast. Because
so
it
fast.
started off, it wasn't like the best thing ever, but it was really fun. It had good action. The story was
Mhm.
basic, but that didn't matter because the action was fun. It was just really good animation. And then they introduced mechs for no reason. No reason whatsoever. They didn't need mechs. Mechs did not need to be a part of this show. They introduced mechs and it ruined everything.
The thing is, I didn't mind the mechs if it wasn't like the sole plot of the whole thing. Like, I like that it was people versus mechs. Like, I thought that was pretty cool,
Yes,
but then everyone was using mechs, and I was like, oh,
exactly. I liked it better when it was just ninja magic. And then
yeah.
when it got renewed for not only a second, but a second and a third season, I was like, what do you mean? It wasn't
They were
that
also gonna make
good.
a game. I was like, huh?
Now that's what
Like,
I said that for the beginning. I was like, this is like a video game, and if it was a video game, I'd play it. But also, I think that this studio, fuck Ninja Kamui. Don't make no more Ninja Kamui. Make a Ninja Gaiden anime. This studio and this creative team needs to be working on a Ninja Gaiden animated series. That's what they need to be doing.
yeah, no, that would be pretty interesting.
But yeah, what have you been watching, Ira?
Let's see. So I've been doing my yearly rewatch of Sword Art Online. It is a tradition in my household that I rewatch it at least once every year. I know it's bad. I don't care. It was like one of my first, and so it has a very special place in my heart. I'm only like 3 episodes in, but it's just as bad as I remember in all
Right?
the best ways. Um, I've been wanting to like read the light novels, but there's just so many, and I can't be bothered because it's like I admire Sword Art Online from a distance. It's like yes, it has very cool concepts, but not enough for me to like engage with it as heavily as I did when I was in middle school. So yeah, yearly Sword Art Online rewatch, that's been going well. I finally caught up with Dan and it was really good.
Oh.
It was really good. I binge watched it all last night, and I'm kind of sad that episode 8 wasn't out by the time I had started watching it. If I would have known that episode 8 wasn't out, I would have just waited until next week when it comes out. But you know, that's fine. We love the cliffhanger we got left on, but it's good. Its second season is just as good as the first. Honestly, I'd even go as far as to say it's better in some aspects, which is really nice, but that's spoiler free.
I'm trying to remember where it even left off because I'm caught up. I just can't remember what happened at the end of the last episode. But yeah, Dan is great. I feel like we need more anime that keep the same opening song forever.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
the new one's good. And at first I was hating. And then I was like, you know what? I'm hating too hard. It's good. But it's not the first one.
It's definitely not.
It's not the first one. And nothing will ever live up to that one. It's like One Piece having multiple openings. Like, what do you mean you have multiple openings, One Piece? We Are is the best, and nothing will ever be able to top We Are.
Right, like that's what we're here for. Please don't piss me off.
But I do like the ending better than the first one. I didn't really like the first ending. Every time the first ending would play, I would let it ride, but I would not pay attention. I would get on my phone. But this one, I watch it all the way through every single time.
I like the animation for the new ending. I just don't like the song. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm curious if that ending animation is done by Science Haru. It looks like something Science Haru would do. Mm-hmm. Are you watching Dan, or have you seen any of it?
I've seen clips and I'm thinking about watching it. It's just I just didn't know if I would like actually get into it, but I keep hearing it's pretty good.
You'll like it.
It's very good.
It's very much. It reminds me of, because I think at the same time when the first season came out, the reboot, or I guess remake actually, of Ranma 1/2 was out, and it's kind of like, it's very similar in that, in the sense that it's a shonen anime with a lot of romance elements.
I like romance,
and the romance in it is really good, and also
really,
all
that's
of
what I hear too.
Yeah, all of the action is really yeah. You're rooting for them to get together every moment. Anytime there's a little nugget of something happening, you're like, yes, get together.
Yes. They have a lot of chemistry, which you don't really see a lot.
Yeah, most shonen anime romance is ass.
Yeah. It's like chemistry, but neither of them had to change who they were fundamentally for the chemistry to work, which is my least favorite trope in shonen, especially because it's like, why do I have to change who I am as a person for you to get with me? That's ridiculous. Please don't piss me off.
Well, yeah, for me, I watch a lot of shows alongside a reaction YouTube channel called Blind Wave. Subscribe to their Patreon, and I do full length, so I sync up, my show with them, and I've been rewatching some shows with them. I never finished Batman Beyond, so I'm both finishing my just complete watch through of the show and rewatching it from where they have just started, because they just started watching it. After finishing, they watched Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series, which I also watched alongside them and rewatched on my own. So I'm watching it twice. On Wednesday, I have a tight schedule for watching TV. On Wednesday, I watch Batman Beyond. On Thursday, I watched Dan. On Friday, I watched Justice League. Not Justice League. What's that show called? Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, alongside Blind Wave. On Saturday, I watched Batman Beyond with them. And then on Sunday, today, which I haven't watched it yet, I watched One Piece with them. I've been rewatching One Piece with Blind Wave, and One Piece is so good. Like, at one point, I was considering, like, do I like One Piece as much as I think I do? And then I started rewatching. I was like, yeah, I do. One Piece is great. I love One Piece so much. I don't know. I don't feel like I probably purposely keep away from conversations about One Piece because I'm like 200 chapters behind. I need to catch up. And and so I'm not sure how, like, what people feel about this, but I know that I like pre-time skip One Piece more than post-time skip One Piece as of now. There's probably more hype moments post-time skip, but just overall the vibes were just stronger. But also it's probably a lot of nostalgia there too, because that's the version of the show I grew up with. Whereas as it is now, it's kind of just it's outstayed its welcome to a certain extent with me. Where it's like One Piece is too long. It needs to end. It needs to stop. And that's why I fell behind, despite having caught up. I fell behind 200 chapters. I'll catch up eventually. Um, and what else am I watching? I think that's about it. So moving on to the only piece of animation news that I have today, which is that a Spider-Punk animated movie is in the works, with Daniel Kaluuya,
Ooh.
the voice of Spider-Punk in the movies, co-writing the film. This is coming from Deadline. So apparently, Daniel Kaluuya was in a cult.
Oh,
What?
And
What
that's
a way to start off.
and that's the reason why we haven't been seeing him in a lot of movies lately. Because 10 years ago, he was everywhere.
right.
He was in the first Black Panther, of course, Get Out. And he was in a bunch of other like period pieces about, Black American history. Um, he was in like 2 or 3. And then one day he was just not in anything until Spider-Verse came out, and you could assume that he might have recorded those voice lines for Spider-Verse a while ago, back when he was still acting more regularly. But then I came across this piece. Somebody on Twitter said is he out of that cult? And I was like, cult. So I went into the replies and found a thread where people were like, yeah, nah, he was in a cult, and because this lady he was dating had like convinced him to join the cult and convinced him to fire his whole like team, and that like affected his career. And maybe
Okay.
and supposedly now he's out of the cult. So I'm like, I hope he got out of that cult.
Get out in real life.
Gosh.
And yeah, that you're absolutely right. I don't know what race that woman was, but it seems like it was Get Out in real life, which is wild.
Yeah,
Hopefully
hilarious.
he didn't get his brain swapped with somebody else's. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I want them to make 1,000 spinoffs from Spider-Verse. Most of them I want to be shows. I think they're making. I can't remember if it was a movie or a show, but they're making a Spider-Gwen something. Presumably with Haley Steinfeld voicing the character. And yeah, I just want a lot of spinoffs from that. I just want a movie with that Miles that is just set in his universe. Like, not all these Miles stories need to be multiverse stories. Just give me a regular Miles story.
hmm
But I'm sure we'll get there eventually. I mean, only God knows when we'll get there, because that movie hasn't come out until like the year 3000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when did they say that was gonna drop? I'm not sure that
2028.
took a year yet. Oh my god!
Which
What?
it's only 3 years, but it feels like so much.
Me and
So
Bree
far away.
will be 28 years old when this comes out. How old are you, Bree?
Yeah.
Insane.
We will be 28. We will be about 30 when this movie comes out.
Stop, please.
Wait,
No, I won't.
We'll be
2028.
we'll be married with kids. No.
That's insane.
I mean, you never know. I might be.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
I'll just come with an announcement. Hey guys, I'm married. It's 2028 and I'm pregnant. Did you hear about that new Spider-Verse?
It's still not coming out. Like 2028 comes and goes, and it's like now it's 2030, and it's like, okay,
That sounds like such a gross number. 2030?
2030. I know. Ugh.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Moving on to comics. What have you guys been reading lately? Why don't you start, Bree?
So I haven't really been reading comics like that. I've been kind of been focusing on making my own, which is, oh my gosh, it's such a tedious process. But on Instagram where you're like scrolling through reels or like people's stories, and then like an ad for a manga will pop up. Sometimes I look at snippets of those, and like the title will be absurdly long. So the one that I read recently was like, oh, my husband was cheating on me for 5 years, but now I get to see his downfall. And I'm like, okay. And so I start reading it, and I'm like, he's cheating? This seems like really happy-go-lucky. And then it just took a turn. Where
Oh,
like
Look,
she's been like documenting the cheating ever since they've been together, because he's a businessman that works in Tokyo and she works in like her hometown. So like they have like a long distance relationship going on. And I was like, wow, this plot is really generic, but like I like drama and romance
Yeah.
at the same time. So, but also the guy, I mean the woman that he's cheating on her with is like very upfront about it. Like I don't know. I don't know how she didn't crash out, but I probably would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned it very briefly and cut it out of a comic section a few episodes ago before you joined about how I read a lot of and Instagram is at fault for those ads.
Yes.
I just read it because I like the story. I just be
Yeah,
enjoy.
the plots
I
are
just
always so good
I
sometimes.
I enjoy the story
Uh,
and the art. I always look for the ones with really good art because some of them be having like the worst art you've ever seen in your life, but others
Yeah.
no, for
are
real.
incredible. You gotta dodge the bad to find the good. And
Mhm.
I got there's two websites for manhwa that I read, and I have like 5 stories on each that I'm reading.
There's one that I think is a banger, but I don't want to pay to read the rest. It's like you might have to cut this out, but like it's has my guy friend always been this good at sex, I think. They're like gamer friends or whatever, and like they were in the living room and he was like, if I lose this bet, then I gotta like do this thing in front of you. And she's like, what? And like I don't the art is just really good. And then like from there on, their interactions have been like so like cute but also intimate and like there's good plot with it. So I was like, hey,
I love the ones where
maybe.
like you go like 10 chapters with no sex, and you're like, that's how you know the story's good because they forgot about the
Mhm.
sex and just
Yeah.
started writing a story.
Yeah.
That's how I am with the side story of this other manhwa. It's called Sadistic Beauty, and I don't care about like the original plot, but they have this side story between these two women. They're both actors, and like one of them is playing a role where she's like really, really like mean, dominant, etc., etc., and the other girl is into that persona, but not who she is as a person, and it's fascinating.
Oh my gosh. Sounds great.
It is great.
Yeah. So, what have you been reading? Here.
Let's see. I've been catching up on Witch Hat Atelier. I always do this thing
I
where
need to
it's
catch
like
up too.
yeah, it's like I'll catch up to a point and then be like, I'm gonna give it more time for more chapters to come out so I can have more to read because I really like this manga. And then by the time I realize that Witch Hat Atelier exists again because Shirohama has retweeted something on my Twitter page, I'm like, wait, and I'm like 6 chapters behind
Yeah, I
because
remember where I
they're
left off
monthly,
because I've been reading it
but the
volume
month.
by volume.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to do it. I try and keep up with the monthly chapters, but it's like, nah, we binge every 6 months or so. But I've been catching up with Witch Hat Atelier. It's been getting crazy. It's been getting really crazy. But crazy in a fun way. And I'm glad that the arc that has been happening for like the past year and a half now is pretty much over. Um, let's see. I've been continuing on with that I guess you could call it a reverse harem manga, where it's called like There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover. There's an anime adaptation airing on YouTube right now, but I've been reading the manga alongside it, and it's been really cute.
I've heard of
Um,
that.
it's really cute. It's really cute, and it's really like the girls in it are very very well written. Like they feel convincingly like high schoolers in their first relationship. It's super cute. Definitely would recommend. And then of course Hellsing. Kind of fell behind on Hellsing a little bit. But have been catching up very, very slowly. And then I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually gonna. I don't. I might have talked about it briefly before, but since we're talking about all this other stuff, I'll mention some fan fiction I've been reading because I
Mm.
only read one fan fiction author. I'm sure there's other I would like because I used to read a lot of different stuff when I was younger, but I kind of just stuck with this one author forever. I don't even know how long it's been at this point. Definitely at least 10 years, probably. Named Koer Aloran, and he's this English dude who writes for some reason he fixates on Ruby and Ruby only, nothing else, just Ruby,
Nice.
the Rooster Teeth
That's the
anime,
best kind of fanfic author.
and what's crazy is that at this point, all of his stories aren't even Ruby stories anymore. He makes such significant changes that you're like, bro, other than the character names, this isn't Ruby anymore. Just make it an original
It's
story.
its own thing,
and that
right?
and that's
Is
why
the
I've been.
story at least good?
Oh, they're incredible, all of them. And they all tend
Nice.
to usually focus around the character Jean because he's like the most blank slate character, so he can do anything with him. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's crazy how far his stories have gone from being fan fiction to just being damn near original stories that he should just adapt. And he recently left his job, which because it like went under and he hated that job anyway. So now he's gonna like focus on writing. And yeah,
Not
it's
you stalking this man.
he talks about this at the beginning of the chapters.
Yeah, sure.
He
In his apartment where you hide.
I promise he tells us about his life. Um, and yeah, those stories are really good. But I'm still
Mm.
reading The Poppy War, and it is so good. I think it was chapter 6. I swear I was reading chapter 6 and then I blinked and I was on chapter 8. I don't know what happened. Um, and chapter 6 was great. So the story is about it takes place in this fictional version of like ancient China. And the main character is a war orphan who was raised by an abusive adopted family, and to escape them she had to pass this test to get into the most prestigious military school for free. She got in, and the story takes place, along her journey there. And in the first year, you essentially are trying to get the attention of one of the different masters to become one of their apprentices. And if you don't get an apprenticeship, you get kicked out. So she's working hard to get the apprenticeship. Um, and like towards the end of it, it got real awesome as she started like learning martial arts and like getting to the top of the class. It was real cool. And then there was a bunch of different tests from the different masters for medicine and history and things like that. But then the very last test was a fighting tournament, was a martial arts tournament, and it was great. And this book's real good. I definitely suggest checking it out. Poppy War. But yeah, in terms of comics, I've read the latest issue of Ultimate X-Men, issue number 14. I read Fire and Ice numbers 2 and 3. Birds of Prey 23, Batman Dark Patterns number 8, Two-Face number 6, which was the final issue, but it didn't feel like final issue. It was weird. But that's done. Caught up on that. I also caught up on Fire and Ice. I've caught up on everything. It's great. It feels... No, that's not true. I'm not caught up on Nightwing. But I'll catch up on Nightwing soon enough. I read Absolute Superman number 9, Nightwing 122, Green Lantern Dark 2 through 5, Supergirl number 3, Absolute Batman number 10, Absolute Flash number 5, and Batman and Robin Year 1 number 9. Yeah, always reading a lot of comics. I need to catch up on Daredevil because I've been falling behind on that one. But moving on to the book club. So yeah, we are on the final issue of Wonder Woman Historia, The Amazons, issue number 3. Written by Sue DeConnick, pencils and ink in this issue by Nicholas Scott, colors by Annette Kwok, letters by Clayton Cowles, who's been doing letters for the whole thing, cover by Nicholas Scott, and edited by Chris Conroy and Andrea Shea. The synopsis for this issue: the third and final chapter of the critically lauded and Eisner-nominated Secret History of the Amazons crescendos with the inevitable and all-out war against the gods. When Zeus discovers the goddesses defy him by creating the Amazons, seemingly nothing can stop his fervor to eliminate their warriors, not even Hera herself. But the Amazons' numbers have grown, and there is a distinctly and unpredictably human element among their ranks, now in Hippolyta and the tribe she leads. Their very fight for existence will alter the course of history itself and bring about one of the greatest protectors the world has ever known. So yeah, the art is different again. At the end of last episode, I was excited. It's been several years since I read this the first time. So when I saw that Nicholas Scott was drawing the final issue, I got real excited because her art is amazing. And with it, we're back to two-page spreads again. And just like the first issue, I can forgive them because they're so damn good. At the very end of the book, she goes into her process and discusses why she prefers to draw traditionally versus digitally. And it's revealed that she fully paints her pages in grayscale before sending them off to be colored, which isn't something a lot of American comic artists do. So that was very surprising to see. But what do you guys think of Nicholas Scott's art?
As I say, I think of all the artists that Historia has gone through, this one has been my favorite. I really like, because you can definitely see that like traditional, like very textured, very like color, like you can tell that it was colored in grayscale before it was sent off to colors. And I think that really lends to like kind of the mystical nature of the comic in general. Like I really liked it. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Same. I think the color was like very soft on the eyes and everything. Like there was certain panels where I was like, this doesn't look like it was done like digitally and like fully
Mhm.
colored as is. Like particularly the panel that I'm thinking of, I think it was like a spread. It was like I forgot her name, but she was going up against like Hercules.
I think
Like
it's
that whole frame where
Antiope.
hmm? Yeah, they were like facing each other. And I was like, this looks hand drawn.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know why that was like my favorite panel, but it was
I
like
think
very
that was
pleasing to
also
look at.
my favorite two-page spread in this issue.
Same. It's really good.
Yeah, and I think my favorite artist in the book so far is still the first artist, Phil Jimenez. I just love Phil Jimenez's art, but I think
Mhm.
that Nicholas Scott's a close second. But yeah, in terms of the story, um, as the synopsis says, this is the final chapter, and it deals with the Amazons' battle against the gods. Emphasis on gods because the gods, of course, are on the Amazon side. And as we discussed last issue, a young Amazon killed one boy, and it sparked the action of the king of the gods. But when Hera asked for justice for the millions of women being violated and murdered, he brushes her aside and said, "It's the natural order of things." But now this child dies, and he sends Heracles as the vanguard of his forces against the Amazons. And Heracles is taken out fast.
Yeah, I
Listen,
was not expecting it. I was like,
the
whoa, whoa.
the way they cooked Heracles was so funny to me because I was like, oh man, that's gonna be the whole rest of the chapter. It's gonna be like their uphill struggle against, and then they cooked him, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm not mad at it because I really think that's a very interesting angle to take, where it's like the strength of a bunch of women acting collectively is more powerful than the strongest man on earth. Like that's a really interesting angle to go from, and I think it really proves, like, it kind of aligns with the philosophy of the Amazons really well, where it's like we are not singular entities, we are a collective, and that is what makes us strong.
Yeah,
Like I really like
at a
that.
certain point, one of the Amazons says that we are all powerful, but we're not all powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The panel after the carnage happened, like they were all looking down at him. They all looked so disgusted. I'm like, you guys did it. Why are you making that face?
I mean,
But at the same
they
time,
didn't
they
want to
didn't
have
want
to.
to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't want to have to do that, but they were given no choice.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was literally ripped apart is crazy. They
Yeah.
had
I
to
was
put
like
his
taking my
body.
time looking at that page where like they all were attacking him like everywhere. I had to like see who was doing what.
Yeah, they had to put his body in pieces in bags, and then they made.
At least they gave them the dignity of a proper burial.
Yeah,
Like I know for a fact that if he would have won that fight, they would not have gotten that same honor.
no, and of course,
Said that
Zeus
he
saw
was
that.
gonna defile them too.
Yes,
Like he even said
Uh,
that, and then I was like, they were so sweet. And then Hippolyta was like, oh yeah, if he actually got his way with us, then he would have done much worse. And I was like, that is also true.
yeah, and then was it one of the Amazons said, like, you know, we can't judge him for things he hasn't done, and we can only act a way that we deem respectful.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I this isn't how it went down in George Perez's run. I'll tell you that.
Oh
And
boy.
I'm curious. I think we should probably read that very first issue of George Perez's Wonder Woman. After this, just to compare and contrast, because that first issue of George Perez's Wonder Woman is essentially what these three issues contain. And it is just the origin of the Amazons. And it's different. Like I said, when I read that comic, because I'm still reading it, because he wrote that Wonder Woman comic for a long time. It's considered the best Wonder Woman comic. It I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, I essentially just replaced that with this. I go, no, this is the origin of the Amazons. That one is interesting to see. The
Interesting
least.
good or interesting bad?
Right, you're scaring me.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, you'll see sooner rather than later.
I see.
But as much as it sucks to see, the story ends with the Amazons and the goddesses losing their battle against the patriarchy, and being banished to Paradise Island. And that, of course, is meant to, set up the civilization that Wonder Woman would go on to grow up in. But also, it's a clear representation of the fact that, we've still not completely beaten that beast. Things are a lot better for women, but they're still not ideal. So, stories like this are still necessary. Not that they'll ever be unnecessary, but they're more necessary now than ever. And Wonder Woman is very important. And we've barely gotten to her yet, because this book ends with the birth of Diana, aka Wonder Woman, sculpted by Hippolyta in sand rather than clay in this book, and brought to life by the goddesses, using the soul of the child that Hippolyta sent down the river in issue 1 that died. And Hera snatched up the soul and said, "I'll save this for later."
Man, everything coming like full circle was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book, this chapter, despite being, I think, longer than the second chapter, it felt shorter. Because
it didn't feel longer.
Because it was mostly action, and it was wrapping up the story, so it didn't feel super long. And I don't have like super extensive notes this time around, because like the big points are kind of just, everything that I said. But also, I guess a part that happened towards the middle that we can talk about is just Hippolyta beating the gods and, playing on behalf of the Amazons, and that whole scene. And just Zeus sucks.
Sucks so bad.
He just sucks.
You can tell Apollo's the favorite, because like, what do you mean? He was like, I want the girl, and I want them banished, and I want to watch them. And it's like, what?
It's like, you can't have all three. Like, we get it.
He's gonna have all three.
Like, we get it. You're Papa's special little boy, but like, come on, man. You're grown.
Literally. It's like, oh, they disrespected me. Daddy, help me, please.
Right. He's like, Apollo's interpretation in this very much gives me Trust Fund Kid, which I think is purposeful, but it's also very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Artemis?
Like, usually
Artemis like manages to convince Zeus to give her one night with the Amazons a month, because she said that because she hates being his twin, and that's the only reason. And Zeus was like, okay, fine.
Right.
She just hates that she's Apollo's twin.
I would too, honestly. But I do like that they gave that kind of characterization to Apollo, because usually that falls on Ares in like Greek myth adapted for like modern audiences. It's like, oh, Ares is the favorite because he's a warmonger, this, that, and the third. And it's like, it's nice to see the favoritism go somewhere else and how that changes the dynamic of the story. Like, I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, and in this, despite being the god of war, Ares is trying to be a bit of a peacekeeper, and he goes to Hera and is like, you got to stop this, otherwise they're all going to die. And he's like, and Hera's like, okay, they stop fighting and die, or they die fighting. They'd rather die fighting.
Right. And I think a big part of that is because Ares and Aphrodite have like a thing in Greek myth. So like, I think that there was definitely some affection behind that gesture,
Yeah.
Also, Loki, he looked like Kratos.
He did.
Kratos.
I think that I wonder. I was reading it, going, he looks like Kratos. Is that on purpose?
Right?
Is it on purpose that the god of war looks like the god of war? And maybe not. But yeah, he also is like one of the only, I think, 3 children that are actually from Hera and Zeus. Ares,
right,
Aphrodite, and Hephaestus are the only children that are actually the children of Zeus and Hera, whereas everybody else are like children of other like children of like Titans and like other goddesses. And Dionysus, his origin is different everywhere. Sometimes he's a chthonic god,
Yeah.
sometimes he's not. And here he's a, you know, an Olympian, but we don't know who his parents are necessarily. um, but yeah, it's that is very the dynamics, the different dynamics between them is very interesting. And Hera goes to Dionysus in this and gets him to lie on her behalf, to convince Zeus, or specifically convince Apollo to then convince Zeus, as he's the favorite son, as you said, to send them to the island of Themyscira as punishment rather than killing them, because he convinces him that that's worse, that's a fate worse than death. And by the end of the comic, you get the feeling that they feel like that initially, because they do kind of like shun Hippolyta once they realize what she's done. And Hippolyta goes to kill herself.
Yeah, that was intense. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, after all that, and here we are.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna happen because I read it, but I was like, damn, that's crazy.
I thought it was gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah, same.
it makes sense because she feels so much guilt because she's thinking she's doing like the right thing, and then when she made the baby in the sand and just went off into the water, I was like, oh my gosh, my heart. I almost cried a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It was very late when I read this.
I love this book. This is the perfect introduction to the world of Wonder Woman. It's so good. Like, I'll always be like, if somebody wants to get into Wonder Woman, read Wonder Woman Historia. It's short, it's sweet, it gets you into the world of the Amazons.
Sweet.
And I mean, sweet as in it's good.
I know what you mean.
And yeah, it gets you into the world. It establishes some small things, but doesn't dive deep into it. Like I mentioned Hermes a while ago. They don't dive into Hermes and his part in the creation of Wonder Woman. So we'll have to get into that in the first issue of George Perez's run. Because he doesn't show up again after that first issue, actually.
Oh, wow.
And then, or the first issue of this one, I mean. And George Perez's run, he's all over the place. But, and then there's the Well of Souls. They mention it, but not much else. Like whenever somebody dies, they mention like, oh, their soul will go to the Well of Souls. And like, that's a very specific thing. I did mention it last episode that the Well of Souls are how Amazons are reborn. On Themyscira, specifically Amazons that are die due to man's violence in man's world. And then there's one more thing. Oh, Ares, major Wonder Woman villain. He's up there.
Really?
And I was gonna say I'm excited to get there, but only God knows when we're gonna get there, because we're definitely not. If we read George Perez's run at some point, we're of course only gonna read like the first volume because he wrote that comic for like damn near a decade. We're not reading the whole thing.
Oh wow,
that would be us reading that comic for a decade down here. But I read most of it, and I would actually be interested in going back and rereading that first volume. But yeah, I love this comic. How did you guys like it overall?
I liked it a lot.
It was a great introduction.
Yes, especially like, does this like make you interested in going like, okay, now I know about the Amazons. Now I want to know about Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to know more about Wonder Woman after all that.
Right. I wish that this particular writer, and they might have, I don't know. I wish this particular writer did a run of Wonder Woman like beyond this, because I would totally read it like in a heartbeat.
Let me see if she did, because I don't know if she did. It doesn't seem like. Ooh, did she write? No, she didn't write Paradise Lost. That was Greg Rucka. Yeah, it doesn't seem like she wrote another one. She did write Captain Marvel, which is cool. Yeah, she wrote some Aquaman, some Avengers, a lot of Captain Marvel. But yeah, it seems like that's the only Wonder Woman run she did. But let me tell you something though. Damn, what's her name? Kelly Thompson. Now that's a goddamn Wonder Woman writer right there. She's writing Absolute Wonder Woman, which is awesome. And I think we're gonna read that after Absolute Batman. So moving on to TV and film. Christian, what have you been watching lately?
Yeah, as far as watching shows, the main thing I've been watching is Southside. Sitcom, comedy, but it's not really centered around one group of people or one person. It's like an ensemble comedy. And it's just like a bunch of different stories going on in the neighborhood in just the entire area of Southside Chicago. Very funny, joke a minute, and I feel like it just didn't get the love that it deserved. until like way later after it was canceled. It got 3 seasons. I wish it got the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia treatment and got 57 seasons. Um, but yeah, Southside, mainly been watching that. Um, as far as movies go, yeah, I've mainly been in my television bag. Yeah, I haven't really seen any movies recently. Like, I haven't seen any movies recently, but I did go to the 48-hour film festival in the city, and that was a cool experience just seeing what other filmmakers are working on or what other filmmakers can do in a time constraint. Like, it was a very fun experience. But other than that, yeah, that's mainly been all on the television end.
Yeah, by the time I heard about the 48-hour film festival, it was already over. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's going very fast. Yeah, because they already picked who's going into the next round for like the finals and
Mm,
stuff. Like it's a very fast turnaround.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I am kind of wondering whether I want to go see F1 again since it's back in IMAX.
Mm.
Um, I might potentially maybe do that, but yeah. Also, since Superman is officially out on digital, just kind of been watching through certain clips and reminding myself of how I just really enjoy that film. Yeah. And as far as films coming up, I am interested in seeing Highest to Lowest, the Spike Lee Denzel Washington film. I am interested in that movie. And the marketing for it has been very interesting. Like the fact that it's not getting a wide theatrical run and it's like one of the most venerated directors in the world of all time and the GOAT actor. It is kind of interesting that it's only really getting like the Charles treatment and like AMC and Owings Mills or something like that. It's like only a couple theaters and screens, but not stopping me. I still want to see this movie. But yeah, that's over. That's what's been on my horizon so far.
Yeah, for me, I recently sat down and watched Predator for the first time since I was a child, and
Mm.
it was awesome. Um, it is such a subversion of the action movies of that era, where you watch a bunch of jacked action heroes who just at the beginning of the movie run through a camp of soldiers, get hunted and taken out one by a creature that they just don't stand a chance against. Um, of all the movies I've seen with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, this is one of his best performances because he has to play kind of the opposite of what he usually is, where he's usually the big dog who has taken
Mm.
everybody out, and now he's one of the people that is on the chopping block. And it's Predator is a great movie. Um,
Mm.
Also infinitely quotable. So many quotes in that movie. So many good quotes. I was watching it with a friend who didn't know that the handshake meme came from Predator.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how many people don't know that. But yeah, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. He's great in that too.
Yeah.
But I also then proceeded a couple days later, a couple days ago at this point, to watch Predator 2 for the very first time. And it is a weird, weird, weird sequel. Predator
How do you
2.
do a sequel? Like, how do you do a sequel to Predator?
Predator 2 takes place in LA and stars Danny Glover, playing the usual Danny Glover character, basically his character from Lethal Weapon. He's a cop.
Okay.
And it's strange. So, from my understanding, it was originally supposed to be like Dutch's brother, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, who is a cop in LA dealing with the Predator. Or I think it was actually supposed to take place in New York. And that was going to bring Dutch back into the fold and all that. But for one reason or another, that just didn't work out. So they got Danny Glover since he was popular at the time. And dang, why am I forgetting this movie? He was also in Aliens. Let me look this up real quick.
Mm.
I think he's one of the few people to get killed by like an alien and a predator, because he was in Aliens and he was in Predator 2. He also passed away. Bill Paxton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He is so. His character's so weird, but it's It's an interesting movie. It's not one I ever care to watch again, but
Okay,
definitely nowhere near as good
got
as the
you.
first one. And from my understanding, like every Predator movie afterwards, up until Prey, paled in comparison to the first one. Like Prey was the first one to actually be good in a long time, and now the Predator franchise feels like it's back with Prey, and then Killer Killers, and then we got Badlands coming up in a couple months, and all three of these films directed by Daniel, I think was it Trachtenberg. So he's doing a
Mm,
good job with
okay.
them, and uh, one of the lead characters in Badlands is a Wailing Utani android, which Wailing Utani is the company from the Alien that you know those androids come from, and the company trying to like get the xenomorph eggs and stuff to experiment on them. So they're definitely leading up to another Alien versus Predator type thing in the future.
Okay.
And I plan on making my way through all of the Alien Predator movies. There are some I haven't seen, and just some I haven't seen in a long time. Like I hadn't seen Predator 2 before. I hadn't seen Predator first one in a long time. I recently, a few months back, rewatched Alien 1 and Aliens before watching Romulus, and I watched Romulus in theaters, and I watched it again once it was on digital. And
Mm,
next I'm going to watch Alien Resurrection.
okay.
And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what's after that. After that might be Alien vs Predator. I can't remember. It might be. Yeah, I think it's Alien vs Predator after that, and then it's the Predator or Predators, then Alien vs Predator 2, then the Predator, I believe, and then after that it's just waiting for Badlands. Assuming I even watch all of this before Badlands, which I doubt. But yeah, but continuing on that train, I watched the first 3 episodes of Alien Earth, and it was incredible. It is
Yeah.
so goddamn good. The beginning of the first episode was just Alien, the very first movie from 1977. It felt very purposely like the opening of Alien, where we watch the crew wake up on the Nostromo in the original movie. And despite it being a modern show in 4K on Disney Plus and Hulu, it still looked like it came straight out of 1977. Just the old retro future. And I love Alien. Alien is my favorite movie of all time. So
Mm,
this is the reason I'm obsessively starting to go through all these movies again.
got you.
And yeah, I was very excited for this show when I heard about it. And then once we started getting trailers, I was like, okay, this looks exciting. And yeah, the first
No.
2 episodes, which came out same day, were great. And then third episode came out a couple days ago, and it's real good. I definitely suggest watching. You don't have to know anything about aliens or watch any previous movies to even get.
Okay.
Even though I highly, of course, suggest watching Alien, Aliens, and Alien Romulus. At the very least, those 3. The rest is up to you.
Okay.
Oh, I also
That
skipped
that
over
is what I hear.
when I was going through my like Alien movie and Predator movies. I need to watch all of the Alien movies. I just named Predator movies because there's also
Mm,
Prometheus and Alien Covenant, which I haven't seen either of those.
got you. I, I hear mixed thoughts on Prometheus and Covenant. A lot of people have come around on Prometheus. When it initially came out, people were like, "What? Ugh." It's kind of like it was like the Apex Legends of Aliens movies because people wanted Titanfall 3, but we got Apex Legends instead. I feel like it was kind of like that. Of people wanted Aliens 4, and it was just the polar opposite of that. Um, yeah, I feel like people grew on Prometheus more over time. But people really ride for Alien 3. People really ride for that film, especially
I don't
because
know
of like
why.
I think it's mainly because of Fincher being involved. Like I feel like David Fincher being involved. It's like
Apparently,
people kind of
yeah, people say that you got to watch like a specific cut of it, and I'm like, bruh, if I got to watch a specific cut of it, I don't know if it's that good of a movie.
you got to watch the Fincher cut of Aliens 3.
Because
Yeah,
Aliens 3
like
was honestly boring. Like the first time I tried to sit down and watch it, I fell asleep, so I was like, I'm gonna watch this later. And then I watched the rest of it the next day,
mm,
and I was like, it was alright. It wasn't like the worst thing I ever watched. It was boring. It also killed 2 of the survivors from Aliens that I liked, and I was like, why? Alien 3. It's just a weird sequel. Very strange decision. But it also introduces Wailing Utani, played by Lance Henriksen.
with the Alien series, I think I saw that Noah Hawley is involved on it.
Earth?
And yeah, on Alien Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
which I'm intrigued by because what was the X-Men show that he worked on again? I'm
Legion.
blanking on it. And it was Legion. Yeah, and Legion was like visually very cool and the set design was very cool. And there was some fun character stuff in it. And then I don't know what it was. Maybe just people weren't watching it or Disney happened. I feel like it was a mix of two of those, but yeah, I'm interested in seeing what he would do with Alien.
Oh yeah, Alien Earth is real good so far.
Um,
So he's done a great job.
okay.
But yeah, moving on to some trailers and news. I didn't send this to you because I wasn't sure if you saw the first season, but also I don't feel like you necessarily needed to see the trailer to have a discussion about it. And that is the teaser trailer for the live action One Piece season 2 on Netflix. And season 3 is beginning production. Um, and in this trailer, we got a reveal some fan favorite characters from the Alabasta arc, especially Nico Robin. And yeah, the live action One Piece, the first season, was a delightful surprise for me. It was surprisingly good in comparison to previous attempts to adapt other anime in live action. But of course, it still
Yeah.
pales in comparison to the show and manga. But it was still good for what it was. And I definitely suggest people checking it out, even if you haven't seen the anime. Even though I would suggest watching the anime. If you had to pick one, I definitely say the anime. But you don't have to pick one. You can watch both. But it also seems like we're back to the golden age of television production, at the very least, where new seasons are being filmed before the next season is even out. Because not only is One Piece doing this, but so is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And I'm like, finally, real TV is back. Okay, give us seasons in a timely fashion. Okay, not at the cost of people crunching and working longer and harder than they need to, but like at the same time, I feel like there's an in between somewhere. Like we're getting way less episodes per season than we ever did before. Yet they used to release 26 episode seasons every year without fail. Yeah, it was because they were being overworked. But now, okay, now you're doing half that. Literally, all shows are max 13 episodes usually. If it's like a 30-minute series, 13
Yeah.
episodes. If it's an hour, we're lucky if we get 8. Mostly it's like 6. um,
Right.
so it's like, I feel like if you're going to be giving us 6 damn episodes for an hour-long show, you need to be releasing a season every year. You can't be slacking.
And I feel like it's funny. Netflix is partially responsible for
It's
that,
Netflix fault 100%.
for sure.
And it's every other streaming service that's
Yeah,
fixing the problem.
because I feel like I mean, Stranger Things is like the absolute culprit because it's like they're making 8-hour films, and they're like, we are gonna spend 4 to 5 years on this season of television, and I feel like yeah, the streaming model has kind of made television shows feel like 8-hour long movies
Which is
instead
also
of like
unfortunate.
something that you yeah,
Because
because
it
and
makes
I
them
feel
feel like every movie or every show needs to have the budget of a Game of Thrones. And as a result, it's like if this first season doesn't work, it's up for that show. That show just gets canceled because it costs too much money. It's like, no, bro, give us something much lower budget. Like we had plenty of good low budget shows. First season may have been all right, but because it didn't cost much to make, they give it a second chance, and then the second season's better, and then it turns into a 10-season show. We don't get that anymore
yeah,
because they're putting too much into the first season.
yeah, and it's like shows don't really get that much time to grow anymore.
No,
Like so
not at all.
many, s- it's and also kind of like what you were saying with like shows filming while they were being released at the same time. Like it would be shows where the first few episodes of the season would be released and they're still working on that same season of television
Yeah.
and they're hearing the criticism live
Mid-season breaks.
at mid-season breaks. That era has just kind of faded away, and I feel like people are like,
Writers
"Oh,
don't be
like
on sets
this,
no more like they used to.
yeah." And it's just kind of like just churning out the product, and it's just all about getting something down the pipeline as fast as possible instead of letting things grow And then when 10 million things get canceled or dropped off of networks, it's 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 like you have all of the ideas in the world. It's just you don't allow them to grow. Like so many shows that are considered iconic or great, they grew. There was a seed there, but they had some sort of time to grow. So I think it's cool that even in the streaming era, there are some shows that are treating it like old days to an extent.
Yeah,
Um,
for
yeah,
sure.
I feel like writing for the binge model is not at that. I feel like that's dangerous.
We also got a trailer that I think I did send you, a teaser trailer for Fallout Season 2. Did you watch the first season?
I didn't watch the first season.
I think you'll love Fallout a lot. Um, so they showed the teaser trailer at Gamescom, opening night live. I believe it was Tuesday, so yesterday for us. And it it looks as good as to be expected. The first season was incredible, and it even won the Game Award for best adaptation, which I think Arcane should have won instead, but that's a different conversation. But coincidentally, Ella Purnell, who voices Jinx in Arcane, also plays the main character Lucy in Fallout. Um, and Fallout did the smart thing when it comes to adapting Western RPGs where you create your own character um, into a show by telling an original story set in the world of Fallout, taking heavy inspiration from Fallout 4 in particular. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of the Fallout games, but I did really like this show, which I think is very indicative of how good the show was. Because someone like me who isn't big into the games, but definitely knows far more about the games than the average person, liked it and enjoyed it. Yeah, in this season, the three protagonists are going to New Vegas, a very famous locale from the franchise, which I'm sure you've heard of, the very
Yes.
famous Fallout New Vegas, or Fallout 3 New Vegas as it's called. And my favorite character in the show is the Ghoul, played by Walton Goggins. He's so good in the show. He's incredible.
Hmm.
He's a character that existed or that was alive before the world was nuked. So we get a lot of flashbacks to his time before everything went to hell, and it's very interesting. Yeah, this second season releases December 17th on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think that the success of this series is teaching people the wrong lessons about what makes a good video game adaptation. Because people are being convinced that telling an original story in the world of a video game is the way to go for everything. But I think that only works with specific types of games like RPGs where you create your own character.
Yeah.
Games with iconic, characters and stories should adapt those characters and stories as faithfully as possible, like The Last of Us. Even though, as we've talked about before, I initially believed that The Last of Us should do something like Fallout did. After watching the show, I was like, you know what? It makes sense to adapt this way because it's that main story, that main cast of characters that's so iconic. You could
Yes.
always, after you tell that story with those characters, and if you want to do more, then you can span out and tell other stories within that world. But it makes sense to start with the story and the characters that made that thing iconic to begin with.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel
and
like with The Last of Us, the story is so integral to everything.
yeah,
Doing a self-insert character just wouldn't work. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you're saying with RPGs, self-insert characters, I feel like that makes sense because we as the audience, or us as the player, we're already inserting ourselves. So doing that with the narrative makes sense.
rumor has it that the next Resident Evil movie will be an original story set in the Resident Evil universe. But I think that's a mistake because our
Wait, they're making a they're making a new Resident Evil movie?
exactly. They just made one and they're already planning another one because the games are doing really well. So you can only imagine
Okay.
Capcom's like, we know this like with so many good video game adaptations are happening. We should be able to do this. Why can't we do
It's like
this? They keep messing it
they've
up
tried it.
because the last
Yeah.
time the mistake the original movies, the mistake was trying to do what Fallout's doing. Nobody wants that from Resident Evil. They made new and original characters. Nobody wanted that from Resident Evil. Resident Evil has iconic
Yeah.
characters. It has Chris, Leon, Jill, Claire, Ada. Like, come on, it has iconic characters and stories. We aren't looking for
Yeah.
original characters from already live action adaptation. And then with the most recent one that was a lot more faithful, the mistake they made was trying to combine Resident Evil 1 and 2. That was the dumbest
Okay.
decision anyone could have made. It
Yeah,
was
that don't make
definition
sense.
of doing too much. If you're going to combine two Resident Evil games into one movie, you either do 0 and 1, which are directly tied to each other, or you do 2 and 3,
Yeah.
which are directly tied to each other, because those are happening at the same time. Both of those pairs of games, the stories within those games are happening at the exact same time.
And that could
So
work as a show.
yeah, and that's I think that's the biggest problem. They need to stop trying to make Resident Evil a movie, and they need to make it a show.
I feel like me, along with a lot of people, forgot that Netflix series existed.
Yeah, and then it was Welcome to Raccoon City, came out in theaters a while back. I watched it. It wasn't good.
Okay.
And it had a decent
Gotcha.
cast too, and then they just ran it into the ground. There was a lot of decent ideas, and I'm like, if these were two separate movies, it would have worked. And I think the person directing it was a big RE fan, and I'm like, okay, you got the thing that you need, but you just got too excited and did too much way too fast. If they want to, tell a more original story set in the Resident Evil universe, they should adapt 7 and 8, where the main protagonist is a nothing burger of a character. Ethan sucks. Ethan's boring as hell. But that's by
He's
design.
terrible.
By design, Ethan
Yeah.
is meant to be a character that the players can easily imagine themselves in the position of. And because of that, I feel like they would have more room to do different things without the fans caring too much. But like I said, I just
True.
want an adaptation of Resident Evil 1. So moving on to video games. What have you been playing lately, Ayara?
I've actually got a couple things. So I beat Patapon 1. I have moved on to Patapon 2, and it is so much better in every way, which is really nice because I liked Patapon 1 a lot, but there were a lot of pain points that made the game really hard to enjoy, especially towards the end. So I'm glad that 2 fixes a lot of the problems that 1 had. And it makes me excited for 3 and Ratatan by extension, but that's not until a long time away. Me and my girlfriend picked Lies of P back up again. She played through everything she had played through previously in 2 days on the hardest difficulty without knowing it. So she's cracked. I'm a little scared of her now. But we've gotten, I think, to the Grand Exhibition, and it's been really, really nice. I forgot how good that game was. And I might give it a go around after she beats it, but we'll see. I've also been really big into what else? I've been playing Breath of the Wild again, just for the kicks and giggles, because it's been a while since I played it,
Yeah, I'm gonna need
and
to
I kind of want to
get back into it
Mhm.
because I had just got
Yeah,
off the Great Plateau when I was playing it a little bit, and then I stopped.
yeah. Right now, I think I also just got off the Great Plateau, and I was like, let me play Breath of the Wild real quick, just to refresh myself on it, before I really get deep into Tears of the Kingdom, because that's next on my pipeline. Because I started it, and then I never finished the tutorial island, so I need to get on that. But I was like, let me play Breath of the Wild first. And that's it, really. I've been kind of playing on my Switch a lot more than I have been my PS4 or my PC. It's been nice.
Yeah, so I was as well until I finished Donkey Kong. Which did I ever talk about finishing Donkey Kong? I think I did, right?
I don't think so. No, you
Th-
talked about playing it, but you didn't. I don't think you finished it at that point.
Well, I didn't. I never talked. That's crazy. Because it's not. I didn't. I didn't even add it to my notes. I forgot. I
Oh
thought I talked
wow.
about it, but I didn't. Yeah, I finished Donkey Kong Bonanza. Maybe I. I feel like I did because I remember Ninja Gaiden Ragebound came out around that time, or maybe it came out before. I don't know. I'll talk about it now. But yeah, I finished Donkey Kong
Okay.
Bonanza. I can't say much anyway because I don't want to spoil it. But the ending was great.
Right.
It was phenomenal.
That's good. That's good.
It was everything you'd wanted more. It was a really good
Yeah.
ending. Yeah, it's a good time. I was playing my Switch all the time then because I was playing Donkey Kong Bonanza every day.
Right.
But now that I finished that, I hop in every now and again to play a bit of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Still playing that, not super frequently, but I'll hop in every now and again, play a single level until I finish it.
Mhm.
In the last few levels I played, I unlocked some of the last of the early game abilities in kind of the tutorial section. So I now have
Mhm.
what seems to make up the full kit of the gameplay. And now I can swap between two characters, and one of them uses ranged weapons while the other one uses melee.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, that's fun. And dang, I'm just remembering that on the 29th, Shinobi comes out. That's crazy. But yeah, of course, always fun Marvel Rivals. Blade came out. Blade's fun. Um, he can be a bit of a tank buster in the right hands since his attacks
Ooh.
speed up and do more damage the longer he attacks. And he has lifesteal, so he can live for a while building up that speed. But if the tank isn't alone and has somebody to team up
Mhm.
on you, then you can get killed pretty quickly. I also realized that I wasn't playing on performance mode. So for almost a
Oh.
year, because the game's almost been out a year at this point, I've been playing this multiplayer shooter at 30 frames per second. And I never noticed
Oh.
because we talked about it before. We don't really notice frame rates like that. So I didn't notice.
Right.
I switched it. It changed my life.
I'm saying, is the difference really, really noticeable?
When you're playing a game like this, absolutely. Like for
Mm.
multiplayer shooters like this, absolutely, it was noticeable. As soon as I changed it, I was like, oh my God, everything's different. So I also adjusted some things in the settings for Black Widow. And now she's actually fun to play. I can land shots because normally
Oh, sick.
she kind of sucks, but I'm committed. I was committed to like getting good with her. Um,
Mm.
and now I can actually hit shots with her, and now I'm having a good time, and I'm getting better with her. So that's good. It's just
Sick.
she still needs a rework because if I have to go into the settings to make her work, then something's wrong. They still
Yeah.
need to make some adjustments to her, but now she's more fun to play. And as of yesterday of this, yesterday as of this recording, a new game mode release called Resource Rumble, and it was really fun. It's essentially like, I guess, like Capture the Flag in Call of Duty or King of the Hill, I think it's called. Not Capture the Flag, King of the Hill,
Mhm.
where there are multiple points, and you have to go hold the point for a little bit, and as you're on the point, you get points, and then once you reach a certain maximum, that point's no longer available, and you have to go to the next point. And the two teams fight over the points, and that's the game mode, and it's real fun.
That
It's a
sounds
game mode
fun.
that I feel like is more offense leaning than most game modes in this game. But I only played it once yesterday, and I'm gonna play some more later today. It was really fun. And because I'm in a bit of a lull in between games after finishing Bonanza, I started playing Persona 5 Royal again.
Ooh.
And where I left off at not the beginning, but in the lead up to getting to Kaneshiro's Palace. And now I've gone to Kaneshiro's Palace that first time. And now I'm in between that. And, when you get to that point in the game, it's a lot of just, you don't get to do anything. The game is just fast tracking you to a certain point before it lets you run free. And I was just waiting because I was like, let me play the game.
Right.
Let me go do stuff. And I finally got there. I'm waiting to meet the chess girl. She's the love of my life. And
Oh, Hifumi?
I'm waiting. I haven't gotten there yet, but when I meet her, it's going to be great.
Soon.
When I played that game, she was the love of my life. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Real.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Yeah, in terms of gaming news, there's once again been too many game showcases because it's still summer. And these showcases don't end until summer ends. Nintendo had another one. For some reason. Jesus Christ.
No.
The reality is, every single one of these showcases should have all been placed into a single showcase. Because this one was super short. They had an Indie World showcase. And it started off with a trailer for Mina the Howler. Descend into a frightful world of action-adventure, and Mina the Howler, or Hallower. Take control of Mina, a renowned Hallower, hurtled into a desperate mission to rescue a cursed island. Burrow beneath hazards and monsters, whip foes into oblivion, and gear up with an arsenal of sidearms and trinkets. Explore a vast world filled with pixel-perfect graphics, matchful gameplay, beastly bosses, and infectious music. Encounter a cast of bizarre characters, search out secrets in an array of exotic locales, and illuminate the omnipresent darkness in Mina the Hallower. A brand new game from the developers who brought you Shovel Knight. And they also released a demo, and I played it, and it was really fun. So when I first played it just one night, I didn't like it. I was, I don't know, I know I'm feeling it. And then next day I sat back down and realized that I could jump. Because this ability where you press the jump button, and if you hold it, you then burrow underground. I thought that was the only way to jump, because when you come from underground, Mina leaps into the air. I thought that was the only way to jump, but no, if you just tap the button, she just jumps. So once I realized I could jump, I started having fun. And
okay, good.
It's fun. It's like a combination of Castlevania and Zelda. There's 3 weapons you can choose, and I saw the chain whip, and I was like, well, of course I'm gonna get the Morning Star, the goddamn
Of course.
vampire killer.
Of course. You'd be a fool not to. But it reminds me of specifically like the Oracle Zelda games, which I really, really like. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I adore Shovel Knight. It is one of my favorite indie games of all time. So to see Yacht Club come out with a new indie game that is like kind of based off some of my favorite Zelda games, trust it will be purchased. I might play the demo probably after we record.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's releasing on Halloween, which kind of besides the point. Randomly, I was looking like as I was like editing my notes earlier, and I was looking up trailers again to see them, watch them again, so I could jog my memory on certain stuff. I randomly came across a trailer for a Halloween game, like John Carpenter's Halloween, and they're making like one of those like what do they call them? Is it isometric? Not isometric. It's something like that. Something metric. I forget. But one of those horror games where, you know, there's a killer and multiple people running around hiding from the killer.
Oh, like Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Got you.
Asymmetric. That's what it's called.
I see.
Yeah. And yeah, with Michael Myers. And they didn't show any gameplay. It was mostly like a cinematic of a person running through the neighborhood and running from Michael Myers. And God damn it, John Carpenter. His music is so good. How dare he be a good director and composer?
It's like, how do you have both?
The music for Halloween is just so good for no reason. The main theme for Halloween goes so hard for no reason.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what that is because I love Halloween. I love those movies. Next, we have Well Dweller. Well Dweller is a dark fairy tale Metroidvania full of charming characters living in a wretched kingdom. Play as Glimmer, a tiny bird armed with a matchstick who must burn the wicked queen to save his family. It has no set release date. But yeah, there's just another little Metroidvania. Something I realized about Metroidvanias, which we'll definitely get to at the very end, is I feel like they've gone the same way as Souls or action games, where Souls games have taken over the action game genre, and now most action games are Souls games, and we don't get a lot of just pure hack and slashes. It's the same way with Metroidvanias. A lot of Metroidvanias are Souls-likes. And we don't get a lot of pure, just like old school Castlevania Metroid style Metroidvanias. The closest we've got to that recently, which I haven't played it, but I hear so many great things about, is Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. I hear a lot of really good things about that game.
Me too.
And I'm going to have to check it out one of these days. But for the most part, a lot of Metroidvanias are very much trying to be Souls-likes, like Blasphemous. Even though they're still good, it's just like, can we get something that's not a Souls-like?
Different? Yeah, like you reminded me not recently, but like a couple months ago, I tried to play what I thought was a Metroidvania that I would really enjoy, Salt and Sanctuary. It was a Souls-like.
Oh yeah.
It was a Souls-like platformer.
You didn't know that?
It wasn't even Metroidvania. No, I didn't know that. And I was a little disappointed because it was so hard. Like it's a good game, don't get me wrong, but I was like, I came into it with different expectations and they were not met, and I was like, damn, it's kind of crazy.
Next, we have Neverway. Neverway is a blend of horror, life sim, and action RPG. After Fiona quits her job, she starts over on a farm and becomes the immortal herald of a dead god. Keep your life from falling apart while searching for Neverway, a nightmare of reality that is slowly leaking into yours. Meet or date 10 plus charming characters with unique routines and storylines. Each bond unlocks buffs and combat abilities that make your journey a little easier. Will you lie to them or tell them the truth? So the pixel artist who worked on this game also worked on Celeste, and the composer worked on Hyperlight Drifter and Fez.
I see. This is a game genetically engineered for me. I see.
It looks cool. It has a fun art style with this
very cool.
Like Game Boy, not Advance because Advance had color. Game Boy, like original Game Boy, like green tinted art style.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks very fun. It
looks really good.
Yeah, the combat looks like like Zelda games of that era, mixed with farming sim, which is really cool.
Mhm.
Next, we have Herdling. Herdling is a brand new adventure from Okamotive, creators of the atmospheric and acclaimed Far games, and Panic, publishers of Firewatch, or excuse me, and publishers of Firewatch. Hit out on a grand alpine expedition with a herd of lovable beasts as you ascend a mountain path. Encounter eerie dangers and surprising obstacles, and forge your way to the mystery at the summit. So this doesn't necessarily look like my type of game, but the art style and the
Mm.
vibe is calling to me for some reason. It looks
Yeah, it's like
interesting.
I've never seen a game like this before. Like it's very unique. Because it feels a little Journey-esque. Like it's got a little a little bit of Journey's DNA, but it's like it's so much of its own thing that like I'm very intrigued by it.
And it feels like almost like what's that game? Not Shadow of Colossus, but it was a game made by the same devs with like this giant cat monster. It feels
Oh,
it feels like that mixed with Journey. Is it Eco? Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, Eco.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, and I think that's why I
For
think it looks
sure.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we saw Is This Seat Taken? Is This Seat Taken is a logic puzzle game where you play matchmaker for groups of hilariously particular people. Each character has pet peeves that make seating them a delightful challenge. Find the perfect spot for each person to unlock new levels in this cozy, silly, and relatable experience. Yeah, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
a fun, silly game, and it's out now. I'm curious if it's on mobile,
Yeah,
because it looks like it'll be a fun game to play on mobile.
for sure.
Next, we got a trailer for Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon is a bike racing party game where you and your friends build the course together and obstacles and dangerous traps. Take the lead with power ups and race to the finish. It's basically Ultimate Chicken Horse, but racing.
I was gonna say, is it by the same devs?
Yes,
But
the same
I guess,
devs.
yeah, makes sense.
And it's set to release sometime next year.
Sick.
And Herdling is coming out August 21st, which is, oh, it's out.
Oh, it's out. Yeah.
Came out yesterday. Next, we have Glaciered. So are the seas at the end of time, 65 million years in the future. The world has frozen over and the oceans have been sealed under a thick layer of ice. Become a tui, a species that evolved from birds, and protect the Everwinter in this futuristic underwater action game. The premise is interesting and the combat looks kind of cool and caught my attention. It's kind of almost like a on-rail shooter without the rails. Like that's just what the gameplay looks like, where you're an animal instead of like a jet, and
Right.
you're
Which I
like
think is really neat.
you're fighting other animals underwater, which is really cool. It looks fun.
Mhm.
And it's releasing as a Time Switch exclusive sometime next year.
Oh, sick.
And last but certainly not least from the indie showcase, we have Demon School. Demon School is a new style tactics RPG where motion equals action. Defeat big weirdos in between the human and demon worlds as Faye and her misfit companions while navigating university life on a mysterious island. So the key gameplay features for this are tactics, rewind any action during the planning phase, and create combos to dispatch your foes, story, a light horror narrative told through huge avatars with side quests aplenty, schedule, plan your school schedule to lever your characters and build their skills, and friendship. 15 characters with whom to build relationships. I think that's just the end of that sentence. Yeah, friendship. 15 characters with whom to build relationships. This could do for grid-based, turn-based tactics games what Persona did for JRPGs for me. It looks cool. And
It
releases
does look very cool.
in a couple weeks on September 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a really fun art style. Art styles will always catch me. I'm like, if it looks cool,
Same.
you got my
I'll
attention.
play it. It reminds me of The World Ends With You a little bit, which I think, like art style wise, which I think is really cool.
Next, we got a Kirby Air Riders Direct very randomly. Again, Nintendo, what's happening? Why don't you just put all these things into one Direct? Why are these things being spread across like this? When is Metroid Prime 4 coming out? All these Directs and you're not telling us when Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. It's weird. But yeah, we got a Direct. And I'm just going to read from this blurb from Michael Werter over at Polygon. From his article titled Kirby Air Riders comes to Switch 2 in November. Brings back City Trial. Kirby Air Riders, the sequel to the Nintendo GameCube game Kirby Air Ride, is coming to Switch 2 on November 20th. Nintendo confirmed Tuesday during a special Nintendo Direct presentation. In the Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct, game director Masahiro Sakurai did a deep dive into the features and mechanics for the sequel, changes that have warranted adding a second button to the experience. We've added a second button, Sakurai said during the Nintendo Direct. Unfortunately, this is to expand the game's depth. The original Kirby Air Ride required only one button, but the sequel will have additional mechanics with the addition of character-specific special moves. Kirby's is a frantic sword slash, so you don't have to press forward or hold a button to move forward. Basically, auto drive is always on in this game, and you only have to move left or right, and when you're in the air, you only have to move up and down to fly up and down. The only time you need to press, I think it's B, is the right button. Yeah, I'm always getting confused. I almost pressed, no, it's A. It is A because it's B on the Xbox controller. And every time I pick up, sometimes when I'm playing controllers that have buttons that make sense, I almost press either circle or B to confirm, which is the opposite everywhere else.
Yeah. And
it annoys me to no end. Goddamn Nintendo. I don't care if you were here first. Stop it. I might flip it because I did flip it once and I was like, no, I should get used to it. And I'm like, should I? Should I really?
No, I'd flip it. I've been playing Nintendo games since I was a wee lad, and I'd still flip it because, like you said, everywhere else it makes sense.
It bothers me to no end. But yeah. Where was I? So Kirby Air Riders will have a much more robust playable cast as well. While the original featured Kirby as a playable character, this time he'll be joining King Dedede, Meta Knight, Chef Kawasaki, Bandana Waddle Dee, Cappy, Magalore, Gooey, Waddle Doo, Knuckle Joe, Susie, and Starman. Every character will be able to mimic Kirby's copy ability to even the playing field. There's also a long list of new machines that Kirby and friends can ride, including some strange ones like the Swerve Star, which features a stop-start technique that lets the rider move at high speed and sharp angles. In addition to a bunch of new mechanics, Sakurai also confirmed the return of the fan-favorite City Trial mode, in which players can sprint through a sandbox to acquire power-ups, then battle in a stadium. City Trial's sandbox is still a self-contained map, but it's much larger this time, and has subdivisions. City Trial supports up to 16 players in online play and 8 players in local wireless. Sakurai says there's still more to come, and the Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct ended with a small teaser, but long-suffering Kirby Air Ride fans have only 3 months left to wait for their sequel. So yeah, he mentions in the Direct, like, I know this is weird because we just got a Mario Kart, and I thought it was weird when they asked me to make it, but he came up with a way to make it work, and it looks cool. I don't know if I'm gonna pay $70 for something like that, but
yeah,
I don't know if it was like, I don't know, 40 maybe, but I'm not paying $70 for that game. I'm not gonna. That's not a game that I would play often enough to warrant a $70 purchase.
No, that totally makes sense. I think I don't really have much experience with Kirby Air Ride, like the first one, but it did give birth to one of my favorite speedrun categories, hot dog percent. I forgot exactly which part of the game it was, but there is a speedrun category for it where it's like there's a power-up or item that only appears in this one spot in this one map very rarely, and the whole point of the speedrun is to collect 5 of those hot dogs as fast as possible. And it's the silliest thing ever, but it fascinates me so greatly. So hopefully, maybe we will see a resurgence of hot dog percent with Kirby Air Riders.
Yeah. And I like me some Kirby. And Kirby Forgotten Lands plus, what is it called? Whatever the DLC for the Switch 2 edition is called. Star something. Comes out next week. I think it comes out the same day as Metal Gear. So
sick.
I'll be playing that next week. And, in time to talk about it on the podcast when we record that Sunday. So that'll be cool. So moving on
Nice.
to Gamescom opening night live. The reason we delayed recording this section, but also convenient because then that Kirby thing happened a couple days ago. So it started with Bubsy 4D. The infamous wisecracking Bobcat has returned to 3D in a new platforming adventure. Bubsy is back with new challenges, new moves, and even more personality. They spelled that Purr. Run, jump,
Oh,
glide,
boy.
and roll across alien planets. Battle robotics sheep and collect tons and tons of yarn. What could possibly go wrong? So have you heard of or played a
Yeah.
Bubsy game?
Yes, I have, unfortunately. Um, and Infamous does not even begin to describe these games because, like, they are truly the video games of all time in all the worst ways. And I think seeing this in this conference, I was like, who asked for this? Who like the Bubsy game we got before this, Bubsy 3D, was already terrible. Then they re-released it on Steam in its pristine form. They did not change anything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, people want more of this." No, we don't. And it reminds me, I saw this tweet the other day. It was like, check on your local Banjo and Kazooie fan. Make sure they're
got it.
okay.
We got a new Bubsy game before GTA 6.
I'm saying, like,
It looks cool though. Maybe this is a good one.
yeah.
I'm sure the Bubsy
My
fans are happy.
expectations are low. Yeah, all three of them.
Next, we have Dench Attack, which I just sent you the trailer for because I forgot to send it to you. Flip, trick, and grind your train in a fast-paced, off-the-rails ride through a colorful Japanese dystopia. Outmatch rival gangs, wreck a shady megacorp, and take back the tracks with nothing but skill, speed, and style. This was random as hell, but it looks cool. It looks really fun. It's like it's almost like Subway Surfers if you were the train.
Yeah, it's like Jet Set Radio, but instead of a skateboard, you're on a train, which I think is sick.
Yeah, it looks really fun. Let me check to see if there's a release date. Sometime next year, it says. Yeah, it looks really cool. Next, we have Masters of the Universe: Dragon Pearl of Destruction. Eternia's favorite heroes, including He-Man, Tila, Man-at-Arms, and more, in a two-player retro-inspired 2D magic brawler. Drawn in beautiful pixel art and featuring huge, highly detailed sprites designed to do justice to Eternia's favorite peacekeepers. I love the beat-em-up renaissance they were in, especially the ones using old cartoon IPs. And I love He-Man, so this is great. And the question is She-Ra in this? I doubt it. No, doesn't look like it. That sucks. Because those rights issues. But yeah, this is cool. Yeah, it's cool to be getting so many of these. They've been making a big return.
It makes me happy for sure.
Yeah. You like He-Man, She-Ra?
A little into it. I used to be, like, when I was younger. Not as much anymore. I was a Thundercats kid, believe it or not.
I can believe it.
I was gonna say, if we got a Thundercats game, that would be really nice. I don't know what that would look like.
I mean, it would probably be like this, but with the Thundercats.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's in development.
Yeah, same. I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Next, we have Valor Mortis. Valor Mortis is a first-person action Souls-like from the creators of Ghost Runner. Rise from death as a former soldier of Napoleon's army. Wield supernatural powers, battle horrifying monsters, and unravel a conspiracy that threatens all of humanity. So yeah, this looks cool. It's a first-person Souls-like, which you don't get a lot of those.
Yeah.
Which makes it feel more like something like Dishonored or some of Arcane's like super older games, like of Might and Magic, and Arx Fatalis. Which gives me some hope that this game is my speed, because like I said, most Souls likes don't interest me other than like Elden Ring, and there's a couple that I need to check out, like Bloodborne and Sekiro. But this one looks like it could be one that I enjoy. And it's from the creators of Ghost Runner. Ghost Runner's good action games. Good high speed action games. So if that's anything to compare this by, then this should be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it takes place during the time of Napoleon. which is interesting.
The tagline for it on Steam is also super hard. You served Napoleon, you died for Napoleon, you have risen for Napoleon. That's hard.
Yeah,
Hard.
that's cool. Yeah, next we have Swords of Legend, a new Chinese myth third-person action RPG adventure game developed by Aragon Shanghai. Players will get to return. I don't even know if I should even attempt to pronounce this. Gujian Sirius for the first time in 15 years. Oh, this is a continuation of something. I didn't know that.
Oh.
As Sipan, an underworld enforcer who's been reborn to take his onslaught to the mortal realm. Make use of a suite of mystical techniques, divine artifacts, and powerful weapons to wage war against any and all adversaries with the aid of captured souls who will fight on the journey. So yeah, this is another one of those like Chinese action games, and it looks pretty cool.
It does.
The thing with these games for me is always, is it a Souls-like or is it a character action game? Because you can never tell. You can never tell until they get played. And I hope that this one is an actual action because it looks cool.
Me too.
Next, we got a trailer, and we could talk about it here instead of next week on animation section, or 2 weeks from now, really. Sekiro No Defeat.
Yes.
An animated adaptation of Sekiro, and it seems like it'll be a faithful one, not taking too many liberties. Animated by Qzilla. But something about the animation looks off to me. Some people thought that it was AI, but the studio came out and claimed otherwise. But that was never it to me. To me, it just looks kind of cheap. No offense to the animators who put hard work into it, but it just doesn't look up to the quality I feel like FromSoft game adaptation should have.
Yeah.
They're also making a live action Elden Ring adaptation. I forget who's directing it. Let me look that up. But there is a famous director directing it. If it was up to me, it would be the person who directed The Green Knight. I feel like when I watched that movie, but from what I've heard about it, I hear it's confusing. I was like, good, because so is a lot of Soul stories, and that's the type of director we need. The type of fantasy director.
Alex Garland, it says.
Alex Garland. What has he directed? Because I know he directed something very specific. Oh, it was Ex Machina. That's what it was. And Annihilation. And the most recent, well, not just the most recent, but both 28 Days Later and 28 Years Later.
Oh, wow.
And he directed that weird A24 movie that was about the war on terror.
Oh.
That I kept seeing trailers for that had a bunch of like really famous actors in it. And then I was just like, what is this movie?
What are the name of that movie? I was going to say.
Because
it feels like
it got like it has a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.2 IMDb, 3.6 Letterboxd. So it seems like it did all right, but
fascinating.
It was just
like,
so random.
I saw all the advertisement for it and then just never saw anything about it after it came out. Yeah. Like nobody was talking about it or anything.
Yeah, very random. But yeah, this is an interesting person to direct that movie, if I'm being honest. Because it seems like he's worked mostly on like sci-fi stuff, so to give him a fantasy story is interesting. But yeah, next we have Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight. Rise as the Dark Knight and experience the essential Batman story in a bold, action-packed adventure with hard-hitting combat in open-world Gotham City and the signature Lego charm that fans know and love. This is the Batman Arkham game we deserve. It's not for me, but I know a lot of people are going to have fun with this. It looks cool. But whenever I see it, I'm like, but what if this was an Arkham game? What if it wasn't Legos? Because it just feels like an Arkham game. And I'm like, just have this team make a Batman Arkham game.
Right.
Because clearly they know what they're doing. We just need a smaller Batman game. We don't need every Batman game to be Arkham games. Right. But also, this game has civilians outside. Every Batman Arkham game's no civilians. They come up with some excuse for why there's no civilians. It's stupid. Okay, Spider-Man games can have civilians while Spider-Man's going out saving people. So can Batman. But next we have Warhammer Dawn of War. Return to the RTS series roots with deeply satisfying strategy gameplay. Take command of 4 unique Warhammer 40,000 factions, including the Adeptus Mechanicus in their series debut. Fight through 70+ epic campaign missions, as well as the replayable Last Stand, skirmish, and multiplayer modes. Every day, I edge closer to getting into RTS games. It just takes the right game. I need something like what Persona did for turn-based RPGs for me to do that.
Right.
It could have been Midnight Suns, but for some reason they decided to make that game look ugly. Midnight Suns is a Marvel RTS game, and it just
Hmm.
looks generic. And I was like,
Yeah.
why did they do this? Whenever I would see an ad for it, I was like, why does it look like this? There was no reason they needed to try and even come close to looking realistic. Because one, they very clearly didn't have a big enough budget to make it look pretty enough. So it just looks whatever. And they should have made it more stylized to work with the budget that they had and with what they were going for.
Right.
Because if you're gonna make a game like this that isn't like a Spider-Man or a Batman, you gotta make it look pretty and like super
Yeah.
illustrative and stylized. You shouldn't try to go for realism if you don't actually have the budget to go for realism.
For realism. Yeah, like I'm looking at the
Especially
trailer,
with
this looks
comic book
like a mobile
characters.
game. Yeah.
Like they had the opportunity to make something really cool that would have actually got people's attention, but instead they made it look so generic that, and it's already a genre that a lot of people, especially people that are into superheroes, aren't really trying to get into. So if
Right.
you want people to play a game like that, you got to make it look like a comic book, which they could have done, but
Mhm.
instead they made it look so generic, and because of that, I just didn't care to play it. But there's
Yeah.
a Star Wars RTS that's being made that might get my attention. Next, we
see.
have Death by Scrolling. Welcome to Purgatory, now under new management. Death by Scrolling is a roguelike, vertically scrolling RPG where you kill enemies, collect gold, and avoid the Grim Reaper long enough to pay the ferryman's exorbitant. Why can I say this word? This whole exorbitant is also spelled really weird.
Yeah.
Avoid the Grim Reaper long enough to pay the ferryman's exorbitant river crossing fee to the afterlife. I'm just gonna have to dub over me saying exorbitant.
Okay.
Such a weird word. Releasing everywhere, including mobile. This game looks fun.
It does.
It looks especially like it'll be a fun game to play on mobile.
Yeah, I like that it's vertical scrolling instead
Yeah.
of side scrolling. That's new. That's novel.
And it keeps scrolling, and if you stop, you die. Next, we have Zero Parades. From ZA/UM comes Zero Parades, a story-rich espionage RPG. You're a brilliant but tormented operant on a desperate assignment. Pick up the pieces of your broken network, untangle a bloody web of intrigue at the end of history, and prove yourself on the big stage or blow it all up again. So this is from the devs of... Why am I forgetting the name of that game?
Disco Elysium?
Disco Elysium, yes. And it looks really good, but they didn't show too much. I got to get around to playing Disco Elysium one of these days.
You should. It's really good.
But it's also like long as hell, so who knows?
It's very long. I still haven't finished it myself, but I did start it, and I really, really love what I've played so far.
So I'll get around to it eventually, but this looks cool. And I'm always there for a good espionage story. So I'm excited to see what this looks like when we get to see some more. Next, we got the final trailer for Unbeatable, a game where music is illegal and you do crime. It releases on November 6th. We finally got a release date. It's finally happening. I played the demo. It's a good game. It's fun. I'm definitely playing this when it comes out. This is going to be the first rhythm game I get into. I like the art style. The art style immediately caught my attention when it was revealed in like a PlayStation showcase a while ago. And I was like, this looks awesome. I want to play this game.
Yeah.
And I played the demo and it was really fun. And I'm excited to play the full game. It has like mostly original music and the music's really good. I'm really excited for this. Next, we got La Divina Commedia. La Divina Commedia is a dark fantasy ARPG inspired by the famous masterpiece opera of Dante Alighieri's the Inferno. The procedural extraction dungeons generation. What the hell am I reading? I lost my train of thoughts when I tried to pronounce that man's last name.
No worries.
The procedural extraction dungeons generation system ensures a unique and never repetitive experience. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. The journey to hell begins. I didn't realize this was an extraction dungeon game. That's weird. I thought it was just going to be like a
Very
Souls
weird.
like, because they
Yeah.
showed a cinematic trailer. And I hope that the actual game is as cool as it looks. But it's like it seems like it's like an action, or excuse me, extraction shooter, or extraction not shooter, but extraction Souls like, which is interesting. I need to see more.
Fascinating.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
When I first saw it,
But
is this Dante's Inferno? And then I saw the name. I was like, it's called the Divine Comedy, but no, it's just a game inspired by the Divine Comedy. But yeah, I need to see more.
If I had a nickel for every Divine Comedy inspired game, I'd have 2, which is not a lot, but strange that it happened twice.
Dante's
We
Inferno,
need a
Devil May
remake of
Cry.
that game. Right. Or actually, no, it'd be more than 2. Now that I think about it, because Devil May Cry, Dante's Inferno, this, Limbus Company by the same people that made Lobotomy Corp is also Dante's Inferno inspired. Like, never mind. There's a lot more of those games than I realized.
Yeah. Next, we have Moonlighter 2, which Nintendo has been trying to get me to buy Moonlighter 1 because they keep advertising it to me. Maybe it's because the second one's coming out soon. But dive deep into an action RPG with roguelike elements and a tale about new beginnings. With no coin to your name, you and the other townsfolk find yourselves stranded in the distant village of Tresna. Now it's up to you to get back on your feet and turn your humble shop into the beating heart of the village's wealth. Explore dangerous dungeons, gather relics, sell them, and reinvest in your friends' establishments. Unlock new weapons, armor, shop decorations, and more. And more importantly, restore hope that things can one day turn around. So yeah, it's a isometric, like shop manager and action RPG. And the original, the first game was pixel art. This one's 3D. And it looks cool, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say they went the same route as Hyper Light Drifter and what is it?
Breaker.
Hyper Light Drifter, and then the second one is Hyper Light Breaker, which I wasn't feeling at first, but then I like kind of got my hands on Hyper Light Breaker, and you know what? It's a good direction to move. I get why they did it.
Next, we have Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
That's a mouthful.
Yes. You are the Nomad, an elder vampire awakening from a century-long slumber, new to the modern nights. Trapped in your blood is a stranger's voice. This entity, a vampire detective known as Fabian, will be your guide to the 21st century Seattle. You will explore the city through his eyes as well as those of the Nomad, as you revisit a cold case from 100 years ago that is threatening undead and mortal society alike. Hunt your way through a modern night Seattle on the brink of an open supernatural war in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, where visceral vampire action meets a neo-noir murder mystery. So it looks cool. And when did the first one come out? 2007. So this is a long time coming, this game. And I remember seeing people play the original. And this game looks cool, and I hope it's good, because I've been wanting a good vampire game. There's not a lot of good vampire games out there, and it also looks like it might be an immersive sim, and that's cool. So I want this game to be good. I really do. I hope it's good. It comes out October 21st. Next, we got another trailer for Ghost Yote, which I don't even remember if I sent this to you. And, you know, it's just another trailer showing a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of story. Nothing much new, but it ended with a surprise, which was the reveal that the Legends multiplayer mode is returning, and it will release sometime next year, which the game itself comes out in October. I forget which day. So Legends was a 4-player co-op mode added to the first game for free if you already owned the base game, where you fought mythological creatures. And this one I assume is going to be the same, and it is also free if you buy the base game of Ghost Yote. So that's exciting. Next we got another kind of trailer for Resident Evil Requiem. It was like an extended cinematic with a little bit of gameplay. And it seems like it was like a flashback of the main character with her mom in a hotel, because in the first trailer it says that her mother died, and her mother is a character from a previous Resident Evil game, one of the like side games, Revelations. I think it was maybe it was one of those games, but one of the side games that not a lot of people played. So I don't know much about this character. but yeah, you're playing as Dora as a character from one of the Resident Evil side games, and she's dead, and the story is following that. Is her kind of like investigating what happened to her mother,
Come on.
as
That makes
she's
sense.
following a case that's related to it. And yeah, there was also a demo at the event physically in Cologne, Germany, and people essentially got to play the exact same demo that they had at Summer Games Fest. But this time, there's video of it. I don't know if you've seen it yet. But people were actually able to record it and actually post it on YouTube. So you can actually see it now. And you can play in first and third person
Yeah.
seamlessly. And
Oh,
they both work
sick.
great. And it looks good. I'm so excited for this. I'm excited to see more because I bet Leon's in this game. Something I hope that they do eventually is bring back the like, I forget what they called them, but like where you can play as two characters and you can play through the game twice.
Oh.
And when you play as the other
Mhm.
character, you're essentially going through the same story, but from the perspective of the other character. They need to bring that back because that was cool.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 1 and 2 did that. 3 didn't do it because it was just Joe, and then 4 it was gone completely. So it's like, bring that back. That was cool. And I'm hoping that you play as
Yeah.
another character. The assumption is you'll probably play as Leon at some point in this game, but hopefully not like the way you play as Chris in 7 and 8, where Chris is DLC in 7 and you play as him at the very end of 8. I want Leon to be an
Mhm.
actual part of the story in this game, which
Right.
Requiem comes out in February.
Ooh,
At the
that's
very
soon.
end, yeah, relatively. I imagine they're gonna release a demo probably sometime in like October or something.
Mm.
Next we got at the very end of the Gamescom a sequel to Black Myth Wukong, Black Myth Zong Kui. Another Black Myth game following like a Chinese mythological character. And I hope this one's better because the first one I've heard mixed things about. So I didn't end up playing it. But and it upsets me because I'm like playing with like the different abilities that the staff has is cool, but it seems like it was like just a boss rush damn near. We're just fighting a bunch of bosses, and the like level design wasn't great, and I was like, oh, that sucks. I wanted that game to be good. Hopefully they learn a lot of lessons from that one and bring that into this one.
Right.
But to wrap things up, the day after opening night live, Team Cherry revealed the release date for Hollow Knight Silksong, and it is releasing September 4th, which is 2 weeks from now. This is so insane of them. The build up to this game is ridiculous.
I think my favorite part of like that whole thing is that it did not go through a troubled development cycle.
No, it did not.
It's not in development hell or nothing. They were just like, we didn't have anything to share. And it's like, what do you mean you didn't have anything to share?
So Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg wrote an article interviewing Team Cherry about why it took them 7 years to make this game. And the simple answer for them was that they were having too much fun.
That's good.
Silksong, of course, started as DLC for the first Hollow Knight, but ballooned into a full-fledged game. And along the way, they just kept coming up with new and fun ideas and didn't want to rush the process. So they just took their time. And 7 years later, it's the most like anticipated indie game of all time at this point.
We need more development cycles where the devs have fun making their game, because it really comes through in the final product if like a dev team has had fun making the game. And I don't know, we just need more of that. It was really refreshing to hear. It's like not crunch time or anything like that. It's just like you're having too much fun. I like that.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna play this one before the first one. It'll be on Game Pass, which is cool.
Oh, sick.
So I'm definitely gonna check this out when it comes out. But yeah, that's about it. A lot of games. A lot of games. I'm excited to play. I'm so excited to play Snake Eater. I pre-ordered it. Pre-ordered it physically. I'm excited to play that.
Wow.
Because people are starting to post gameplay, and the more I see of it, I'm like, oh, it looks fun. I want to play Snake Eater. I'll have my complaints. I still have that very specific complaint. It still exists. And other people have it too. Like the reviews have been saying the same thing I've been saying. It's not a big enough change, but that doesn't matter. It's still going to be a good time. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. But no, I'm Dijon. You can find my ads above me. I yours at above them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more storytelling content, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. Peace.
See ya.